So now we are at Pensum B. And if you remember the difference between Pensum A and Pensum B, Pensum A is usually filling in the endings of words which are introduced in the chapter. So it's more or less the grammatical pensum, or the grammatical exercise. Whereas Pensum B is about filling in vocabulary words that are introduced in the chapter. So next to Pensum B, if you look over to your right, you have the vocabula nova, and those are all the new vocabulary words. That's what vocabula nova means. Those are all the new vocabulary words that were given to you this chapter. And this is simply and Pensum B is simply your vocabulary exercise. So let's look at these. So we have puella something, and then a colon, la la, or la la. So puella something, la la. Now, usually this colon indicates a speaking word or an action word of some sort, which indicates some sort of vocal thing. So, for instance, one in the chapter you had Julia plorat, and whining, and you also had puer ridet, ha 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 ha. So that's usually what the colon is used for. So puella something la la. So Julia here is singing. That's what the la la is for. And the word for singing in the chapter is cantat. So puella cantat, la la. And this makes sense because if you look over at the right, you can see the fact that that cantat is one of the vocabulary words. Next we have puella something, cantat est Julia. So this is a little bit more confusing than this one. And really what it's saying is the puella, the girl, something who sings is Julia. And when you have something like this, for puella who, the girl who sings is Julia, what you want to do is you need to figure out, okay, is it masculine, feminine, or neuter? If it's masculine, you put qui, but it's not masculine here. Instead, what it is it's feminine, so you would put que or quai, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So, puella quai cantat est Julia. The girl who is singing is Julia. Now, Julia something est. This might require us to go back into the chapter to figure out. And if we do, we see that while Julia was singing, Julia cantat, la la, we see Julia laeta est. Julia laeta est. So, from this we should know that what goes here is Julia laeta est. Julia laeta est. Puer improbus puellam something. So what we're missing, this is another case of trying to figure out what we're missing. So we have a subject, and in fact we have an adjective with the subject, so these two together are the subject. Then puellam, because it ends in am, is the object. So what we need here is a verb. And what does the puer improbus do to the puellam, that is the girl, namely Julia, in the chapter? Well, if you've paid at all attention to the chapter, you know that what the puer improbus does to the puella is that he pulsat eam. So, pulsat. There we are. So, puer improbus puellam pulsat. The bad or misbehaved boy punches the girl. Puella something. Well, what we're missing here is the same thing that we were missing up here. We're missing a verb. So let's try and figure out what verb this would be. If we look, there's a semicolon followed by, well, what sounds like whining if you say it out loud. So what's probably the case is that the word it's asking for is plorat. Plorat. Why? Because plorat means crying. And again, if we go back to the chapter, we find that after Marcus Juliam pulsat, after Marcus punches Julia, Julia non cantat sed plorat. Plorat, uhuhu, and it's followed by the same thing. So we have puella plorat, uhuhu, puer. I wonder what this is. So again, we're missing a verb. And so what the verb probably is here is indicated by this. So puer ridet. Why? Because ridet means laugh. And we know that because, once again, if we go back to the chapter, we find Marcus ridet. Marcus est puer. Marcus is a boy. Marcus puer ridet. Ha ha hi. All right. So that should be everything for this video. Please take your time with the exercises, but make sure that you do as best as you can on them.